Our next guest is a familiar figure in Houston, and she has an inspiring new solo exhibition at the Holocaust Museum.
Yeah, and in fact, it's her first solo multimedia exhibition titled A Celebration of Survival, currently being shown at the Holocaust Museum, Houston. Barbara Hines highlights heroes of the Holocaust, many of whom were not even Jewish, in a contemporary collection of her work. So Barbara, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Jennifer, Derek.
So I've got to say, I was here for the show on opening night in January. I'm so glad you were able to make time to come into the show because I haven't ever seen anything like this. Describe to our viewers, if they come to the museum, what will they see?
The show is titled A Celebration of Survival because I wanted it to be uplifting. I didn't want anything negative. The Holocaust is a very sad part of human history, and I wanted to celebrate the fact that we're all here now and to uplift the heroes who contributed to the survival of hundreds of thousands of people.
And we're seeing actually some of the images here from inside the exhibition. You've really used a lot of color. These aren't the traditional black and white Holocaust images we're accustomed to seeing. Why did you feel it was important to use color?
I wanted to put a contemporary face on these, they're called the righteous among the Gentiles, and it's a status conferred upon them by Yad Vashem in Israel. These are people who put their life on the line to help Jews escape during the Holocaust. And I wanted the young people who come to the museum, probably 2/3 of the audience are young people, and I wanted to put a young face and show these people as they were in their prime at the time when they put their lives on the line, and give it a contemporary look.
Well, and some of the heroes, I mean, some of these people saved thousands and thousands of lives.
Yep. There are a total, on the Yad Vashem website, there are a total of 26,000, but I suspect there's probably more than double that number. People who were never documented or never talked about what they did.
And this is incredible. I mean, and I want to underscore and say that one more time. So there's a database of 26,000 people out there who helped save the lives of Jews. Some of the people you featured in this exhibition, like one guy, for instance, was the guy processing visas. I understand he processed 30,000 applications.
Yep.
So he saved 30,000 lives.
And they were from all nations. I've chosen men, women from different nations because it was the whole world. People who had an opportunity and stepped up to it. They put their families at risk. Many of them lost their jobs. Some of them were actually imprisoned.
Well, and they were truly putting their lives on the line in order to help their fellow man.
Exactly. So the exhibition is about celebrating these heroes.
One thing that really caught my eye, I know you mentioned that a lot of attendees of this museum are young people, and actually the day that I was there last week, because I went back, there were a bunch of students there. But you guys have an avatar of an actual person, a Holocaust survivor. His name is Pinchas, and we have a little video that will help us make sense of what we're about to talk about. So let's roll the clip and then we'll talk about it. Pinchas, where are you from?
I was born in Łódź, in Poland.
Do you have any siblings?
I had a twin sister. That's the only sibling I had.
What happened to your sister?
My parents and my sister were murdered in the gas chambers on the same day when we arrived to the camp from Warsaw.
How did you escape being murdered?
I didn't escape. I was liberated.
The show will be on through the end of May.
Yeah, so what's interesting about what you're saying, guys, is I was essentially interviewing an avatar, and
That's amazing.
Isn't this incredible? So this technology, I know this came from the USC Shoah Foundation, which Steven Spielberg
And that's a real person that survived, right?
This is a real Holocaust
He's still alive.
Wow.
Why was
Pinchas is still with us.
He's still with us, luckily, but I mean, we are running out of time to have Holocaust survivors around. So to be able to ask these personal questions and have him answer, why was it critical that your exhibition not just feature your artwork, but also feature this technology as well, make it a multimedia exhibition?
I thought for young people, the interactive component would be exciting. they're into technology, and so it gave me an opportunity to expand my work and incorporate technology and interaction. The questions you can ask, there's a database of 16,000 answers.
Wow.
So you can ask him pretty much anything, and he'll have the correct answer that matches your question.
There were a couple of times when he didn't understand, and I had to repeat myself, but he was spot on.
Yeah.
It's
I've
incredible.
never seen anything like that. Is this the only place that has something?
It's a pilot program. There are only 4 others in the country, and hopefully Showa will be able to develop this technology and make it available for more museums, and let these survivors live on into the future.
And it gives that younger generation kind of that chance to ask a grandparent figure.
Exactly.
You know, to ask questions.
Yes. I think there are 15 others who are being filmed and interviewed at this moment, and we hope to
capture their stories. While we still have them.
Exactly.
So this exhibition runs through May 30th.
That's right.
And what is it, Barbara, that you hope, after a visitor comes through, what is it you hope they take away from experiencing your exhibition?
First of all, to appreciate the bravery of these heroes that I've featured, and as well as the history of Jewish genius, which is owed in large part to these people who saved Jews in the Holocaust, but also to ask themselves, at the end of the day, if I get an opportunity like this to save somebody or some people, and I have to put my life on the line, my reputation, my family, well, where would I be? What would I do? What would I say? You never know.
It's true.
But here's a chronicle of some people who stepped forward and did their bit.
Barbara, we are so glad to have you on the show today, and your work is such an inspiration.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing it.
Derek.
And a reminder, the exhibition does run through May 30th. To learn more about Barbara's exhibit, A Celebration of Survival, you can visit the Holocaust Museum online at hmh.org. And again, get there before May 30th. You'll be glad you did. Barbara,
I'm definitely going to get over there. Definitely going to get over there.
See you
Coming
there.
up next.